I'm back. You should be able to hear me. I'm feeling much better now. Ahem! Alright. Year 5. Gather... Oh, I finished the wrapper. Let's go do that real quick. And I've invited a friend into the kinship. Hooray. I think it's the first time I've invited a friend into the kinship in a long time. That's one thing I do want to start doing, is getting back into an actual active kinship running thingy. There we go. What do you got?
I've been put up to a cruel joke.
Alright, year 5. I already picked up the year 5, so we're gonna remove this. And we're gonna remove this. And so, let's go take a look and see what we gotta do. Gather remembrances of Brandy Hall. Carry packs to the ponies in front of the bag end up there. Visit the Buckleberry Ferry. Gather remembrances in Bonfire Glade. Elrond's house. The one to Welling Hall is really gonna be the longest one to get to. And then there's also... Yeah, this one's gonna be a lot of riding around. Alright, so let's start with the one that's right up the hill here. Up at Bag End, we're gonna go carry the packs to the ponies. Then we'll ride our asses over to Brandy Hall. Okay. Pack. So I do have apples. Oh, I only need to carry one. Why am I carrying a bucket? Standing Stone, why the hell am I carrying a bucket? I don't get it. That's okay. And what happened while I was away? Not much. Okay. Thank you for being here. We're gonna keep on going. Year 5. We're doing pretty good. I was kind of expecting things to be a little bit behind. But I think one of the reasons why I'm not as far behind as normal is because I'm not taking out quite as much time for doing the giveaways. Oh, somebody named their character Comes in Pints! That's adorable. Alright, we need to go to Brandy Hall. So let's go see if we can get to... We should be able to get over to... Why can't you get to Buckland from here? Oh well, we'll go to stock at least. So I do have snacks. I do have my apple.
What do you need?
That's weird that you can't get to Buckland from here. Oh, okay, now. I guess because Buckland counts as Breland as far as the stable masters are concerned. That's kind of dumb. Come on. Let's go. But I also have some protein present in the form of beef sticks, which is not as much fun as beefcake, but those are tasty too. And who doesn't like to eat a little beefcake, huh? Oh man, these are really good. Mary's dad. Remember the last one being on, like, the far side. It's like, why is it even on the side of the Brandy Hall? Okay. And we need to go to the bonfire glade next. Man, that was really good. Also very salty. I feel like tongue shriveling up. Time to mitigate that with apple. Mmm. If I had any gluten-free chocolate macaroons. I'm gonna tell Elda. Okay, so we need to go to Elrond's joint. Let's go to Rivendell next. Actually, we should do Flooded Isengard. Let's do the Rivendell one first. Then everything else is Rohan or Gondor. And now we have to make up a little bit of time, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This apple is so damn good.
How can I be of service?
I have to say this dude looks like he belongs in Umbar, not so much in Rohan. But he's got a Bree voice actor, so. Okay, Flooded Isengard. We can get the Flooded Isengard from Edoras. No, we said we're going to Rivendell. Steady the course here. Steady the course.
What can I do for you?
Okay, I got a decal. That's nice. I'll take care of that at a later time. Whoops. Oh, let me in, let me in. There we go. I'm still a really big fan of the revamp of the last Homely House. It really makes me happy. So I do kind of wonder if Elvish Premium Housing will wind up being like an apartment in this building. If it was that, I think I'd be disappointed. I don't know about this Varda thing, but on certain angles, Varda looks very scary. So I do like that they painted Varda. So I think they probably could have done a texturing pass on her face. Make it little less evil. See, again, Elrond's library now does not have a portal anymore. That's just really cool. You just walk right in. Elrond, why have you got a weird thing over your face? Oh, you're doing the further adventures. Pretty sure there are no maps. There's only like 2 maps in here, I believe. Don't remember if there's one in Billow's room or not. But I'm gonna go look here and to see if maybe they put one in here. Honestly, I would have been surprised if they had done so, quite frankly. Makes me wonder what's out here. I like the new map, though. But it has the same problem that many Lotro maps have, is that they don't do 3 dimensions, like, at all well. And we know that's a new interior map because the pathway to the Hall of Fire and the pathway into Elrond's Hall. Elrond's Hall didn't even exist, so. Okay, there's be some maps around here somewhere. See, there they are. Okay, so everything else is either in Rohan or Fangorn. Well, don't tell Fangorn I said this, but Rohan is there. And Gondor. So, we'll start with the Rohan stuff. Back to the house. Has there been any quests or things sending to those new spaces? Nope. Not that I've seen yet. My main thing is when I look at Rivendell, I can't imagine where they would actually put a house. I mean, the obvious is going to be, I don't know. All I know is the one thing I do not want for Rivendell housing is I don't want it to look like Falathor in Take 2. Because that's one thing I really like about, like, regular Shire housing. There are some similarities with the Lindleby housing in terms of, you know, hobbit houses or hobbit houses. But but you don't really see much on the outside, right? But when it comes to, for example, Belfalas housing, looks a crap ton different than this Rohirrim housing. Come on. Actually, let's do the long-ass run up to
Hello there.
Dwelling Hall, which is going to involve us riding up to Woodhurst. Which, we're going to get to Woodhurst. I have it unlocked, I just can't remember how to get there. Gaphole, Brockridge, Stoke, Helm's Deep. So I can get there from Edoras. I can't get there from Snowbourne, which is where I almost took myself. So let's go to Edoras. You can see a neighborhood in the area west of the rep vendors. Okay, so in Imlad Gilair. I'd have to actually go. I really want to take some time and just go through Rivendell and just kind of do a housing speculation stream at some point.
I do not know if we will survive this onslaught.
Maybe I'll do that. I can't do it next week. Oh, that's also one thing I want to point out. Next week I won't be able to stream on Saturday because I will be... No. Let me back up for a minute. I will be able to stream next week, even though it's a moot day, because the moot is in the UK, and so I'm gonna take a nap after the moot is over, and then I should be awake enough to do a stream later that afternoon, early evening, depending on what timing and whatnot. We'll see. One of the things I talked about in my paper on Locho. Now we know where that one guy in Rivendell got his emote and frequency of emote for drowning that one poor horse. One thing I've liked about Lotro is how they gave, and I talked about this in my paper, about how they gave, here's Elda, the advisor of Herobrand. That's not the good Elda, though. I wonder if that's the same Elda we find in Nona's Cave. But now we're gonna have a long-ass ride into Fangorn, so get comfy. But one thing I talked about in the paper, which you could see the representation of that from last week's stream, is how they took things and made connections where connections weren't in the books. Like, Herobrand and Herofara were not in any way, shape, or form listed as anything. They were just names that started with H-E-R-E. Hera. That's it. Now, you could make the argument that maybe they were brothers based on the example of Darafin and Dwelin. I mean, that would make sense, right? That would be interesting. And we've got a long ways to ride, even on a war steed. But Locho made up their relationship or their connection, which I thought was very fascinating. I'm going to take a moment. And I am going to oh, hey, look. A sexbot liked a reply to a tweet from 1 billion years ago, and it's a photo of a sexbot of some teenage-looking lady. It's very gross. That somebody would, like, weaponize that, so... Anyhow. Okay, we've already completed our first points giveaway and are over halfway to the next one. Wow, I didn't know how to spell things. Why are you not letting me reply to my own tweet? Oh, I'll add it here. Come on. Come on. Copy pasta. Alright. Kind of trying to prod people on the socials. Get some more butts in the seats. And reply to this. Paste that. There we go. Keep it going. Keep it going. Alright. Let's get back on track. So tomorrow I gotta get back to work. Day job. Day job. and got some chicanery in mind. So next week, I should be streaming on DDO Stream Thursday afternoon. And Friday on Lotro Stream, Corey will be out, so I will be taking his spot. However, I do know that Cordovan wants to do a pug raid of the new raid in Umbar. I've already said, dude, it's your channel. Do what you want to do with your damn channel. So I will basically start my stream after he's done. Yay, because it pays the bills, booze because it's work. The work is not really hard. My day job is not that difficult. Some things are changing with it. The hardest, most stressful thing about the day job right now is the fact that some of my teammates have decided to be like super lazy and not actually do the work. And it's making our boss unhappy. And it's making his boss unhappy. And it's like, why do you guys have work from home if you're goofing off when you're working from home? And so it's very possible that we might be requested to go back into the office. And that's going to super suck for those of us who have actually been doing our job. What you gotta do, what you gotta do. Yeah, and I never really saw, like, I have big monitor here, which is when I'm working. This monitor that the game is on right now is the one that is my big one for working. And I have my laptop, so it's like laptop screen here, big monitor here with most of the work. And then I can, you know, have a YouTube video up over here. As long as I'm, you know, taking my calls and doing my tickets and answering questions and doing what I need to do, then it doesn't matter if I've got, you know, scenario stream up on the other monitor. And that I might be listening to it. Because I'm not customer facing in that they can see what I'm doing. Oh, see, that's the thing, Squirrel. We have metrics. That's how we know that people are screwing around. Because basically our boss wants us to do like 4 tickets an hour, which isn't much, quite frankly. And we're not generally there, and generally we don't push people to get the customer off the phone because our customers are not customers per se, they're clients. So it's like a business to business relationship. And I need to go back to Edoras to get to... Yep, I'm going to Edoras. So we know who's goofing off. And the sad thing is I trained at least 2 of them myself. So I know what was said in terms of, yes, take your time to get your work done. Make sure... Because one of the other stressors that we have is that we need to make sure people are doing their job right. So I don't want people to rush through their work so badly that they're screwing it up, that they're missing things. I want them to be thorough and meticulous and take the time they need to complete their tickets, do their due diligence. What I don't want to see is somebody unavailable for 3 hours. Because that tells me they're not calling. Because our tickets aren't just, okay, we received a call. Our tickets are, we have automated generated tickets that we're supposed to work on. Like if what my company provides, my day job company provides, is digital signage for various clients, like big screen TVs that show ads, basically. And so we have a media player connected to these big screen TVs that are what actually display the ads. And when they fall offline for a certain period of time, because they're supposed to have an internet connection so we can update them remotely, is the system, our diagnostic tool will generate a ticket for us to work to call the site and have them reboot things and do what they got to do to get it back online. And if somebody's been unavailable for 3 hours, they haven't been calling anybody. And when we have tickets that are overdue, which impact our service level agreements with our clients, that's a problem. Especially if people were doing their target. Again, the target is based on the fact that you're not stuck on a call with a technician for an hour and a half, which happens. But we don't get those every single day. And so people need to step up and do more. I'm actually really happy with one of our newer employees, my most recent trainee. She's been handling all of our stuff at this point because we basically have a method to our madness. Is like when they first start out, they're going to shadow an experienced employee first to see how the job is done. Then we start having them call out to various, here's a ticket for an offline player. Call the site and have them, follow the troubleshooting and have them do the things. So, even the newest trainees should be able to do that once they've been out of their initial lecture training. And I know I've told them all, this is what you need to be doing. So, I'm just simply... And it's...
I am glad you have come with such haste, for these troubles weigh heavily upon me.
I'm just going to stand here and I'm going to thank you. Thank you, Awen. Okay. Flooded Isengard, Snowmane's How, and Mary in the High Hall. Okay, so Flooded Isengard, the quickest way for me to get there is to go back to the house. Okay, I think one of my neighbors whose backyard is backyard to backyard, they've been building something in their backyard. And I think they're doing some work on it now because the weather is actually really nice outside today. So I get to mow the part of the lawn that I didn't mow the other day tomorrow. Okay, back to the house. We're gonna go to Edoras to Helm's Deep, and then from Helm's Deep over to Flooded Isengard.
Greetings, friend.
And it really is unfortunate that, and I try to be sympathetic to folks, being new to the job, for one thing. And there are a lot, and unfortunately there have been a lot of changes of procedures behind the scenes, so I'm trying to keep up on top of that as well.
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
But the basics of taking a ticket and calling them, it's pretty basic. It's like the first thing they do. And it's always the case, like, if you have questions, please ask. There's no such thing as a stupid question. And the question simply illustrates that that we may have missed something in training. Because when I do the training, I don't go into the weeds about every single last potential option of something. I try to go for, these are the common things that you'll see, and then
I am afraid of what is happening to these lands.
and if they get something that is weird or doesn't fit the basic pattern, then it's like, okay, no biggie. Let me go from there. So I can only do what I can do. But it'll be unfortunate if everybody who is actually doing the work and doing their jobs has to get punished for the people who aren't. Anywho, there's a nice hearty meal waiting here in the flooded Isengard. There's probably so much mold on this thing. Like, when Pippin in the Jackson movie grabbed that turkey or chicken or whatever out of the dirty water, and it was like, well, I suppose having a few days of orc fare that even a dirty chicken in questionable, possibly bacterial ridden water would still be an improvement. Alright, let's get to after battle. Again, please be in Marin. Mana Slayer, how you doing? Yeah, it would not be healthy at all. But still better than orc food, right? Strips of meat of which kind you weren't sure about.
Hello there.
Alright, we're gonna go to Osgiliath because... I mean, I could have gone to Midsummer Minas Tirith and probably... But, yeah, it was annoying. Going to Osgiliath is better. Because that way we can just ride back and catch the thing at Snowmane's house first. And we'll go find Mary in the High Hall. I wonder how high that hall is and how much weed they did to make it that high. Because it is 420, blaze it! The high holiday of the people who like to be high. We are $44 away from unlocking another Lotro Points giveaway. I was gonna put it back to like 50 per, but I'm like, the 100 for 100 was such a great piece of copy. And this is like a stupid bridge. This is a stupid bridge. This bridge wants you to yeet yourself into the raging waters of the Anduin. Am I right? I mean, it kind of looked cool, but without the railings in those interstitial parts, it's like, okay, why is this bridge suddenly narrower halfway through? Like, we're going to be narrow here, but we're not going to put safety rails on this other part. We're going to be decorative. It's going to be a bottleneck. I'm having a fun time today. I'm making really good progress, honestly. We're almost done with year 5, and I'm only 5 hours into it. Like, I would have expected to complete year 5. Like, okay. Complete year 1 at 1 o'clock. Complete year 2. Well, I guess we're on track. Middle-earth OSHA needs... Middle-earth OSHA is utter failure. That government entity has obviously been defunded. Because they don't do jack and shit. They don't do jack shit. Wonder who's in charge. Don't know. The foul beast. The fell beast. The dead fell beast. So I have to appreciate the fact that this was translated. I believe by Professor Michael Drought did the actual translation. And this is why Professor Michael Drought has an NPC in the game. So one thing I've always appreciated about Lotro is the fact that they do so very few real-life homages in the game. Like, there's the weird one like the Goldilocks house out in the middle of the Eastfold. The random-ass Goldilocks house. Or the Bunny Cave. The Bunny Cave in Limelight Gorge. But those are things that are just out of the way. Nimorn, yep, we saw Nimorn earlier today. I rode past him
These
early.
are troublesome times indeed.
Okay, we are going up to nowhere because you can't take me where I need to go, but you can. I would never want to cough in this room. Of course, is Faramir looking very pasty. Of course, the one thing I was a little bit intrigued about Lotro doing... Yeah, she's gonna look a bit pasty too. Oh, look at that modeling on her face. I think she's got measles or something. And they didn't, like, take off her armor to, you know... Alright, we need Mary. Mary, I think, might be on the other side. Hold up. Gotta get a look at him. Wow, he just looks dirty. And the game is so cheerful about me having completed my scavenger hunt card. Okay. Let's get back to the party tree. So I'm personally aware of 4 in-game NPCs based on real-life people. There's, of course, Nimorn, based on Leonard Nimoy. There's Druid, the Rohirrim Scholar, who is over in the Entwash Vale. I think it's Entwash Vale. And then there's Roy, who is in the Scholar's Abode in Erebor. And he's based on somebody who isn't famous per se, but Standing Stone consulted with him for Kuzdul, and it's the Dwaro Scholar, a streamer over in Europe. Alright, let's get back to the party tree. I think
What
maybe
can I
for a
do for
brief
you?
time he might have been one of the Lotro streamers, but he streamed a lot of Lotro. Big dwarf dude, you know. And the other one was put into the game at the request of Chris Pearson, and it was somebody who is a not anywhere near obvious reference to Gordy. I think his last name is Gordie Howe, question mark, who was the lead singer of a Canadian band by the name of the Tragically Hip. That, if you didn't know, Chris Pearson's Canadian. I did not know that. Also, he is the very same Chris Pearson who wrote some Dragonlance novels. True story. Oh yeah, there's Colbert, but Colbert the Mad.